I'm Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Okay, the BC Real Estate Association finally is urging a comprehensive review of BC housing taxes, most of which have been brought on by the NDP. And you know, it's about time, but is it going to get anywhere? Probably not. But here's what they want, and these are all good things to be going after. They want a systemic review of the property transfer tax, which was launched in 1987 as a luxury tax. Initially, it only affected 5% of the properties sold in the province. Today, it affects 100%. So I've talked about the property transfer tax. It is an absolute scam. It's a biggest tax grab known to man. When you tell people about this tax in the US, they just laugh at it. You know, it's 1% on the first 200,000, 2% on the balance. Now, when it was introduced, only 5% of the home sales in all of BC were affected by that 2%. But since 1987, it has not been indexed or adjusted once to reflect our current property values. Not once. They haven't indexed it at all. And you know what? They should, but will they? No. It's a massive tax grab. The PTT, the NDP, especially the socialist NDP and David Eby, they are drunk on the tax revenue they collect with this. The PTT drives this province. If we did not have that PTT revenue, we would be in a massive, deep depression in this province. It drives everything. And it's funny, you know, again, they should adjust this. They should have adjusted this every year or two, starting in the 1980s. They never have. Will they adjust this at any time? I wouldn't be counting on it. Again, it drives too much revenue. Again, it's what I've talked about so many times, especially with socialist governments. They speak with forked tongue. At one time, they say at one side of their mouth, they're talking about making more homes more affordable for British Columbians. But at the other hand, they have their hand out at every single corner with things like the PTT, the empty homes tax, the vacancy tax, federally with the capital gains tax, this new flipping tax that's coming into effect. It's crazy. They're the ones that are causing a lot of a result of the high prices here are caused by government taxes. The second thing they want to do is a review of the policies related to foreign investment, including the foreign buyers tax, to ensure that the province continues to attract investment from outside of Canada. So we're not attracting money from outside Canada in BC or Canada right now. Money is fleeing Canada in massive, massive amounts. I agree, they should scrap this thing. Will they? I doubt it, because they're too dumb. The NDP does these taxes to make it look like they're doing something. And the typical guy looks at that and says, yeah, tax those foreigners. Yeah, keep that property transfer tax high. I'm a renter. But it does the reverse. It keeps housing prices high. It stifles the economy. Money flees the country and flees the province. You know, I've told you guys, just off topic here, I own a fair bit of Canadian and Vancouver real estate. But after that, pretty much all my investments now, which makes up half my net worth, is in US companies. I am slowly getting 100% out of Canada. I still own all the Canadian banks, a little bit of BCE, TELUS, Enbridge, Brookfield Asset Management, Fortis, CN Rail. But I am slowly, over the last few years, trimming all those and putting that money straight into the good old US of A. Because that's where the money's at, that's where the returns are, that's where I can get the diversification. In Canada here now, we have a windfall tax on corporations that make over $1 billion a year, I believe it is. So, you know, profits in Canada are capped. If you have a good year, the government takes it from you. They don't have that in the United States. I would urge you guys to do the same. Keep a little bit of money in the Canadian banks, Enbridge, Suncor, a little bit here and there, some telcos, Fortis, Brookfield. But the majority of your retirement income, the majority of your investment should be in the US, in good ETFs by the S&P 500. 90% of my portfolio is in the US. In 5 more years, I will have 100% in US. And that's where it's at. And I'm not alone. Money is getting out of Canada, going elsewhere, because we're just not competitive and we're taxed to death. Final thing, they want a immediate repeal of both the speculation and the vacancy tax, as well as the removal of this new flipping tax coming into effect January 1st. Which both are duplicated by at the federal level, because they've already got those taxes at the federal level. We're doubling them here now with these BC taxes. I agree with all these things. Less taxes, I've always said. I know it's counterintuitive to a lot of people. They think taxes are good, tax the rich, but it's not. It's doing the reverse. It keeps housing more expensive, keeps the economy slow, keeps the job market terrible. And money flees the country to greener pastures where there's better opportunity. Money can flow wherever it wants. Now, will any of these ever get repealed or removed? I highly doubt it. I mean, we've been trying to get this PTT adjusted for decades now. They've never touched it. Again, biggest tax grab going. Now, I hear too, let's talk about the GST. I hear that if Pierre Poilievre is elected, he's talking about maybe removing the 5% GST on new homes. Fantastic idea. You know, the NDP in Canada want to get homes built, but again, they speak with forked tongue. They do everything they can to stifle new construction and pre-sale, with double dipping on the GST on the way in, and perhaps a double dip on the GST depending on when you sell it. New vacancy tax, empty homes tax, new flipping tax. Just increase the capital gains tax from 50% to 67%. I hope people understand these are things that bring down pre-sale market. People won't buy when they see those things. So by removing the 5% GST, it will definitely stimulate that pre-sale market and we'll get more homes built. But with it, of course, it's going to continue to have housing starts being sluggish. That new stat just came out in Vancouver. They fell 27% below what they were hoping to get built in 2024, that the NDP thought they were going to do. And these are the reasons for it, these taxes, the PTT, and everything else. So would love to see them repeal some of these things, or at least adjust them or remove them. Highly unlikely. We're living in a socialist country now, both federally and provincially. Taxes are king. Tax everything to death, restrict everything to death. But there is fallouts from these things that I keep telling people. I hope more people wake up to it. You know, it would definitely stimulate the economy and the housing market. I'm Owen Bigland. Thanks for watching. See you next week.